eighth, this was probably the surprise for a lot of people, but this is where things have been trending for the last little while. Cole Eiserman, who came into this season looking like the number 2 prospect for the NHL Draft, is listed as the 8th best North American skater. Odds are if you're 8th there, you're probably somewhere just on the outside of the top 10, because we look at Konsta Helenius on the other side, Ivan Demidov, Anton Silyaev. There are a number of European players now that could potentially go ahead of Cole Eiserman. And so we have a question in the podcast that we'll get to later about, the hows and whys. But I think that the main thing is here, there's a couple of factors in the Eiserman drop, and a lot of it has more to do with the other players. Big defensemen with mobility, with puck moving skills, with the ability to produce points are at a premium. We saw it in the last draft when we said, hey, this is not the best year for defensemen. If you're hunting for defensemen, maybe wait a little bit. Teams are still going to invest in big defensemen with mobility. And that's where a guy like Cole Eiserman, who is an elite goal scorer with an NHL-ready shot, with an ability to put the puck in the net, 32 goals in 30 games so far this season, 53 points. This is a guy that I think teams will ultimately covet and believe that he can score. But the trend has slipped. The trend has slipped down for him. And that is, I think, in part because there are teams that still feel that he's a bit too one-dimensional, that, he's going to need a good center to drive play, and that, there's guys like that, a top-line wing that can score is still going to be a very high pick, but is he going to be a top 5 pick if he's not a play driver in the way that NHL teams want them to be? And I think that's really going to be the discussion that's had around Cole Eiserman.